Welcome to Good Living. Equitus.
Equitus, yep.
Equitus. Tell me a little bit about what it is that you do.
We're very specialised in what we do, looking at people's mortgages, particularly, and if there's other debts as well, just in terms of looking at how much interest they're paying over time, how much is unnecessary, because there's a lot of that, and how much you can get back of that, basically to put back into the mortgage to get as many years off as possible, but also, if that's money you haven't had before, as a lot of the cases are, you can use that money for other things, whether it's just helping get more groceries or get the holiday, the car updated or the artworks, whatever you want to do along the way. So our focus is just getting back as much of it as possible. You get to decide what you do with it.
Right.
That's where it is.
Now, sometimes I have to say it all seems a bit like magic to me. You know,
Yeah.
How can you just suddenly make something work a bit smoother? Is it about being creative or is it about being clever?
Not so much. The methods that we use are actually very well worked out, been used a long time. It's just that when you've got the right technology to be accurate with it and you're actually doing things thoroughly and properly over time, that's when you're just sort of getting sort of small savings regularly, and they add up over time to quite large amounts. So, yeah, within home loans, there's a lot of zeros in there, so we commonly see, on average, we'd be getting about $100,000 worth of interest back per client.
Good.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people getting more than that. Yeah.
So that you're obviously talking sort of long-term versus short-term.
We're an ongoing service, yeah.
Right.
So we've got to get the setup right to be able to get the management working properly.
Right.
But that's really where we come in, as we give people the tools and the plan and everything to be able to use the systems properly. So whether they're just getting by week to week and they want to just start moving ahead, we can help with that. If they're already doing quite well, we can show them how to get even more out of what they're already doing, so they can just make it that much faster. Or if they're already investing, got a lot of investors, just looking at that sharper edge to the best software, the best expertise and behind it to get as much out as possible. Yeah.
Fine-tuning that.
Yeah.
So what sorts of people can you help then?
It's all backgrounds, all sorts of incomes, like see some very high income people that really have nothing much left at the end of the week, and people on quite modest incomes that are keeping quite a bit. So it's really, as long as they've got about 10% equity in the property and they're not living beyond their means. If you're doing that, can't help. But and the attitude as well, they actually want to start moving ahead, doing things properly. That's probably the biggest thing. Yeah.
I think that's perhaps one of the big things, a mindset that you've got to get past is like, okay, right, I'm just going to bare my soul here, put all my financial expenses out on the table, and actually to be responsible for them. Because sometimes that's the scary thing, is to go, yeah, I did spend $80 on a pair of shoes, I've only worn once.
That's it. So long as we don't get too heavily into budgeting with people, so long as you're living within your means, one way or another, you're going to be committed to paying your mortgage. Anyway, we're not increasing anyone's repayments, so we just keep it within that, and if we can't work it out within that, then we're not just going to take it on. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so honest advice.
Yeah. We do tell people to wait if we need to. Yeah.
Well, that's just realistic.
That is.
Now, at the moment, a lot of people are feeling quite nervous about their funds, and especially safe places to be able to put them too if they do find themselves with some extra funds.
Yeah.
What's it looking forward?
Well, for us, I mean, we're only lending using the major banks. We don't lend the money ourselves, and we don't use the sort of second and third tier lenders, so the debt is perfectly safe.
Right.
But yeah, in terms of getting advice on other investments, that's we would involve other specialists. We don't handle that sort of things. We just stick to what we know and work alongside other specialists in terms of like tax or insurances and things for that sort of things.
Okay. That's also really nice to know too, that you know your onions, and when you do step outside that, then you've got the other team that you can call in when you need to. Great. Thank you very much for coming in and chatting to us. Now, to get hold of Dan, you need to contact Equitus at 20A Leslie Hills Drive in Riccarton. You can give them a call on 3480834, or you can phone on 021 619 800 www.equitus